Microcourse 4.1 Cultural Orientation, Polish Traditions. Creating a new way of improving the key competencies of adults. Microcourse 4.1 Cultural Orientation, Polish Customs. Hello! Welcome to Microcourse number 1, Cultural Orientation, Polish Customs. Before you start, it is important to know that this course is a result of the project, Creating a New Way of Improving the Key Competencies of Adults, co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program. In this video, you will find out the most important information about living in Poland, Polish habits and culture. Introduction. The Republic of Poland is located in Central Europe on the southern shore of the Baltic Sea. Most of the country is covered by flat plains, with mountains rising on the southern border. Warsaw, the nation's capital and largest city, is located in east-central Poland. Poland's 40 million people are largely ethnically and culturally homogeneous. The few ethnic minorities reside primarily in border provinces. The majority of the population claims Polish nationality, with Polish as a first language. Poles are bound by a common religion, Roman Catholicism, and the painful legacy of World War II. After the communist regime fell in 1989, Poland began transitioning to a liberal democracy. By the end of the 20th century, although it still retained historic ties with Eastern Europe, Poland was firmly aligned with the West, joining NATO in 1999 and the European Union in 2004. Since 2015, nationalist conservatives have gained and consolidated power, and have attempted to enact changes that may undermine Poland's democratic foundation. Polish history. Poland's written history begins in 966 CE when its ruler Mieszko I proclaimed Christianity for his kingdom. The Polish state had to contend with internal strife stemming from a series of violent and chaotic royal successions. Externally, Polish kings aligned with the papacy to gain protection from the expansionist ambitions of the Holy Roman Empire, Poland's neighbor to the west. This era saw the beginnings of German colonization of Polish territory and the arrival of a large Jewish population fleeing from persecution in Western Europe. By the mid-16th century, the Polish state was the largest and arguably strongest in Europe. Most of its power was accrued during the Jagiellon dynasty, which began after Poland united with Lithuania in 1386 and lasted until 1572. During this period, the nobility and landowning gentry gained and solidified power, while the peasant class became weaker. As its European integration proceeded, Poland remained wary of Russian aggression. In 2008, Poland agreed to allow the United States to install an anti-missile system on its territory, despite Russian objections. In 2010, Polish President Lech Kaczynski, his wife, and 94 government officials died in a plane crash in western Russia on their way to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the Katyn massacre. Polish anger and suspicion toward Russia ran high, despite the conclusion of investigators that the crash was caused by human error. Russia's 2014 invasion and annexation of Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula heightened Poles' perception of Russia as a threat. That same year, Poland requested additional NATO troops on its territory. In 2015, Poland purchased the anti-missile system from the United States, completing the agreement initiated in 2008. Polish customs. Poland is pretty much ethnically homogeneous. Ukrainian, Belarusian, Slovakian, and Lithuanian minorities reside along the borders. A German minority is concentrated near the southwest city of Opole. The capital and other cities are experiencing some inward migration from foreigners. Religion. Religion plays an important role in the Polish society and is deeply intertwined with Polish culture. Religious holidays are considered national holidays when most businesses are closed. The most important holiday is Christmas, and celebrations last 2.5 days. Poles practice dzielenie opłatek, which is the breaking and sharing of a thin white wafer, opłatek, with all family members. While sharing the wafer, individuals express wishes of good health and prosperity for the coming year. This is also commonly practiced at work Christmas parties and is very much a part of Polish culture. Another religious holiday of note is All Saints' Day, which takes place on November 1st. On this day, Poles visit cemeteries to honor their loved ones who have passed away. Catholicism is the most widely practiced religion. Life's milestones such as weddings, baptisms, funerals, First Communion, and confirmation are influenced by the religion. The importance of family. The family is the center of the social structure. One's obligation is to the family first and foremost. Extended families are still the norm and rarely form an individual's social network. Poles draw a line between their inner circle and outsiders. Family members are naturally part of the inner circle along with close friends, usually family friends. Poles will interact differently with their inner circle and outsiders. The inner circle forms the basis of a person's social and business network. The people from the inner circle can be relied upon to offer advice, help find a job, cut through bureaucracy, or even rent an apartment. There is an elaborate etiquette of extending favors and using contacts to get things done. Manners and etiquette in Poland. Meeting and greeting. When greeting someone, a good handshake, direct eye contact, a smile and the appropriate greeting for that time of day will suffice. Good morning, afternoon is dzień dobry, and good evening is dobry wieczór. Address people by their honorific title, pan, for a man, and pani, for a woman, and their surname. Do not use first names until invited to. Moving from the use of formal to the informal names is such an important step that there is a ritual to acknowledge the changed status and your inclusion in their inner circle. At parties or other social gatherings, your hosts will introduce you, usually starting with the women and then moving on to the men. Gift-giving etiquette. The usual times for present giving are birthdays, name days, birth date of the saint after whom they are named, and Christmas. Here are some general gift-giving guidelines. Do not give gifts that are overly expensive, this may embarrass the recipient. Employees bring cake and champagne to the office to celebrate their name day. At Christmas, it is common to give small gifts to service workers such as postal workers, refuse collectors, etc. If invited to a Pole's home for dinner, bring wine, flowers, pastries, or sweets for the hostess. Give an odd numbers of flowers. Do not give yellow chrysanthemums as they are used for funerals. Do not give red or white flowers, especially carnations and lilies. Gifts are generally opened when received. Dining etiquette. If you are invited to a Pole's house, be punctual. You may be expected to take off your shoes. Check to see if your host is wearing slippers. Dress conservatively. Offer to help the hostess with the preparation or clearing up after a meal is served. This is good manners. This will more often than not be turned down out of politeness. Do not ask for a tour of the house. Table manners are continental, i.e. hold the fork in the left hand and the knife in the right while eating. Wait for the hostess to invite you to start eating. Most meals are served family style. Take small amounts of food initially so you can accept second helpings. Try a bit of everything. Toasts are only made with hard liquor, generally vodka. You should reciprocate with your own toast later in the meal. Alcohol is served in small glasses so you can swallow in one gulp. Meeting and greeting. Polish business people initially take a formal approach to business. This may come across as quite distanced, but is not the intention. You may also notice differences in style between government officials who maintain formality and entrepreneurs who willingly dispense with formality. It is best to let your colleagues determine the level of formality used. General tips include: shake hands with everyone upon arriving and leaving. Handshakes are quite firm and eye contact is valued. Wait for a woman to extend her hand. Some older businessmen may kiss a woman's hand upon meeting. Do not imitate this behavior, as it may be seen as you poking fun. Meeting and greeting. Titles are considered prestigious. Academic or professional titles are used with the honorific titles with or without the surname. Wait to be invited before moving to first names. You may do business with people for years and not be on a first name basis. Business cards are exchanged without formal rituals. Try and have one side of your card translated into Polish. Include advanced university degrees and titles on your business card. Qualifications are impressive. Communication styles. Generally speaking, Poles judge others by their personal qualities. They therefore like to spend time getting to know people as individuals. This allows them to size people up. Honesty is highly valued in Poland since trust is the cornerstone of business relationships. Building personal relationships is essential for successful business dealings, especially if you are looking for a long-term business relationship. Poles are known for being direct communicators, i.e., they say what they are thinking. However, they are also very sensitive to others' feelings and let that determine how and what they say. While direct communication is valued in Poland, there is also emphasis on finessing what is said in order to deliver information in a diplomatic way. Communication styles. The level of the relationship mostly determines how direct someone can be. For newly established and more formal relationships, a great deal of emphasis is placed on diplomacy. Once a relationship has passed through the initial phases, people feel more comfortable speaking frankly with each other and animated exchanges become more common. Business meetings. The most senior Pole generally opens the meeting and sets the groundwork for what is to be discussed. He may also verbally offer a recommended agenda for the discussions. Small talk is the norm at the start of meetings. Do not rush proceedings, as this is part of the relationship building process. The first few meetings may in fact seem to be more small talk than business discussions. If this is the case, it means that your Polish colleagues are still sizing you up and have not yet made up their minds. You may want to consider this as an opportunity to get more personal and try and form that relationship. Business meetings. Lunch and dinner meetings are often used to further the personal relationship. Meetings tend to be relatively relaxed once the personal relationship has been established. Hard facts are important, so participants come well prepared with facts and figures to back up their statements. Foreigners would be expected to do the same. Business decision-making processes tend to have a hierarchical basis, and therefore many decisions will be taken at the top echelons of the company. Final thoughts. Today, you've learned some key Polish culture facts that should help you better understand the country. We hope that our overview has answered some of your questions.